curry chicken without the chicken. That's what we're making today. And you will be so surprised what it's made of. Oh my gosh, let's go. First started with my steamed bulgur since that takes some time to cook. 1 cup of bulgur equals 1.5 cup of water. For this dish you need eggplants, onions, garlics, hot pepper, some vegan stock cubes, some seasonings, and of course curry and water. Now I started by preparing my garlics and my onions for this dish. I used about 6 cloves of garlic. This is just for the curry stew. And then I used 1 onion for the curry stew and 1 onion for the steamed kalalu. These dogs were just barking the entire time while I was cooking, and this is why. Greetings, my name is Miguela, also known as Aito Mama, and today I'm going to make something delicious. We are making curry chicken without a chicken with steamed kalalu and steamed bulgur. Now the trick is to boil your bulgur on high heat without the cover until the water has completely dissolved. While that bulgur is boiling, I'm gonna start cutting my ingredients. And I'm gonna cut both my garlics and my onions into dices. Now hot pepper is completely optional. Now you can see that the water is completely dissolved, so I'm gonna turn down my heat to low and then add my cover and allow it to continue steaming. Give it a little mix so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. Now let's move on to the steamed kalalu. You already know how it goes with me. We first gonna caramelize these onions and hot pepper because that's where the flavor lies. And I say that all my videos, this is the flavor base of my dish. Nothing special, boo. Just you gotta know how to fry them onions and hot pepper. Now today I did not feel like cutting vegetables. So I really tapped into the energy of the plant and did it this way, y'all. And before I use my greens, I always let them soak in water and salt so that all the dirt can be released along with some potential worms. We don't need that kind of protein today. Now after you added your greens to the pan, you're gonna mix it together. Add 1 vegetable stock cube, a little bit of water, and then close your pot to give it some time to steam. Alright, so the most interesting part. We are using battered eggplants to create our curry chicken without the chicken. For the batter, I only use oats. For the wet batter, I blended oats and water, and the dry batter is grinded oats. For the seasoning, I am using my self-made combination, which is rosemary, oregano powder, paprika powder, cayenne pepper, and ginger powder. I also added 1 vegan stock cube in each bowl. Now the last thing that we're adding is some whole cumin seeds, and then we're gonna mix everything together. Now let's check on the kalalu and see how far it is with steaming. Now the kalalu is ready, the taste is on point. This is how it looks. Now we can move on in peace with the battered eggplants. So I first removed the end of my eggplants, then sliced it in half. And I really thought the camera was facing me correctly, but yeah. And then I sliced those in halves again because else it would be too long. And then from those halves, I made wedges. Thick, beautiful eggplant wedges. And this is how it looks. You can also choose to remove the skin, so the battering process could be smoother, but I actually like the skin, so I kept them on. And then you're gonna place those eggplants in the wet batter, mix them properly, and to really get all the flavors, you can also choose to leave them soak for a few minutes. But I was really hungry and I couldn't wait for all of that, so I immediately dipped mine in the dried ingredients. Now you're gonna make sure that the entire wedge, that sounds so weird, but you're gonna make sure that everything is covered with a dried batter. I like to use my hands because the results give me the perfect crunch. It tends to stick to the eggplant batter and doesn't really dissolve when you're frying it. And this is how it looks. Oh my gosh. Now you're just gonna repeat the process and then move on to the frying. Now after preheating my pan, making sure that my oil is hot enough, I'm gonna add them slowly and one by one. Make sure you don't add too much at the same time, because then the eggplants don't have room to fry, which will result in the crunchy part breaking off. Now use this thing, I forget the name of it, use this to allow the remaining oil to drip out, because we don't like oily stuff. And then you just repeat the process again. And look at that golden brown color. Now after placing them in this thing, that's what it's called now, this thing, we're gonna place this thing on a bowl so that the oil can continue to drip out, and the steam also has a way to get out so that the crunchy eggplants remain crunchy. Now clean your pan or use another pan and proceed to making your curry sauce. Now you know how it goes. We're gonna first caramelize our onions and hot pepper. Fry them until slightly brown before adding your garlics to the mix, and allow the caramelization process to continue. Then you're gonna add some curry powder. This is about a half tablespoon of curry powder. Allow it to caramelize with the other ingredients. Then you're gonna add a little bit of water to create that sauce. And the water also helps avoid the curry from burning, because once the curry starts burning, it becomes bitter. Now as I'm stirring and seeing the sauce get thicker and thicker, I add more water until I reach my perfect texture, which is a nice thick curry sauce. You can then add your salt or your vegan stock cubes to enhance the flavors of the curry and all the other ingredients. Continue stirring your pot until you created that thick sauce. Then you add your crunchy eggplants to the pan, and this is how it looks. And of course I forgot to film that part, but look at that. Crunchy but juicy at the same time, and full of flavors. And once the sauce was finished, I literally just put the crunchy eggplants in there for like a minute, because you don't want it to get soggy. Now this is it, y'all. Curry chicken without a chicken. Definitely a must try. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.